of this tournament. And this game will feature the Brownsville Rivera Lady Raiders and the McHi Lady Bulldogs. McHi serves it up. Lady Raiders just off a big victory, a come-from-behind victory over PSJA. And we started off with the McHi Lady Bulldogs and a kill to make it a 1-0 game. This Raider team had to come from behind. They were beaten convincingly in game one against PSJA and then just kicked it into another gear to win the game. McHi had a different type of game as far as what we've seen them play. That ball goes across on the angle. That's a point scored. Ties us up at 1 apiece. In McHi's quarterfinal game, they were rolling an easy victory in game one. And then in game two of their quarterfinal matchup, as that's an ace served up for Rivera. Rivera goes up 2-1. Lady Bulldogs were trailing in game two of their setup by 7 late in the game. Came back and win. There's a spike on the left-hand side by Kenya Ibarra, and Brownsville Rivera out of the gate up 3-1. These teams met a couple of weeks ago as we were broadcasting from Rivera. McHi won that, and that was a 5-set matchup, best of 5. McHi with the sweep on the victory. Back set this time for Signs. Back row there to play that. Up in the rafters it goes. Point score for the Lady Bulldogs. Back to serve. They do score that point to McHi. Back set for Kenny Ibarra. Tips it past the blockers. They'll call that in the net. And a point scored for Brownsville Rivera. And the Lady Raiders up by 2 at 4-2. Clarissa Olivares serves that over. Set up for Lexi Gonzalez. Puts it down. Point scored McHi. Gonzalez makes it 4-3. Back to serve is Ada Sadlier. Sadlier gets it over. Brownsville Rivera on a back set this time for Kenya Ibarra. Swings away, got it down on the angle. Point scored, Rivera up 2. 5-3, Brownsville Rivera. Kenya Ibarra now rotates back to serve. Checking in the game as Laisha Izagari. Raiders get it over. Gonzalez tips it down, straight down. Point scored, McHi. 5-4 game. On the other side, you got Los Fresnos taking on Sharyland Pioneer in the other semifinal game. The winners will square off on the main court here in the main gym. Serve across. High set for the Raiders. Spike off the back row. Out of bounds it goes. Point scored, McHi. Bulldogs to serve it up again. Short serve played by the Raiders. Nice play by Guerra on that back row. Punched across by Izagari. Set up Lexi Gonzalez on the angle. Nice dig that time by the Raiders. They'll play it on the back row. Guerra puts it over. Set up Gonzalez again. Tips it over. Played by the Raiders. Set it up. Big spike down and in the back corner. Point scored, Rivera. Rivera back up at 6-5. Back to serve for the Lady Raiders is Rochelle Guerra. Ball up high. Helmkamp punches it over. Raiders set it up in the middle. Then a lift's going to be called. 2 hits on Brownsville Rivera. We're tied at 6 apiece. 6-6 your score. Ball back over on the McHi side. Punched over by Helmkamp. Raiders with a back set this time on that right side. In the net it goes. Point scored, McHi. Back to serve is Lexi Gonzalez. Just gets it across. Ball back up high at the net, punched over. Gonzalez there to play that for the Bulldogs. Helmkamp on the hit, looks down the line. That's out of bounds. Was that tipped? Point scored, McHi. 8-6 your score as Gonzalez serves again. Just across, played by the Raiders of Brownsville Rivera. Back set for Rochelle Guerra. Block right back at you. Straight down and a point for the Bulldogs, Andrea Tovar. 3-point lead. Gonzalez to serve again. Just gets it over. Played by the Raiders. They go right back to Guerra. Gonzalez there to dig that. High set in the middle. Tovar. Guerra digs that one too. High set across. That's going to be hit across by Izagiri. Played by Gonzalez. Ball at the net. This is Signs. Puts it back over. Raiders. Guerra punches it over. Gonzalez there again. Set it up off the net this time. Signs. Back angle. Out of bounds it goes. Point scored, Rivera. Back to serve for Brownsville Rivera. Short serve across by Alondra Guzman. Set up Signs, punches it with left hand. Before that, a whistle blows. Points scored for Rivera. It's a 9-8 game. Next serve by Guzman. Played by Gonzalez. A high set in the middle, tipped over. Raiders able to cover that. Set it on the back row for Guerra. High set now across the way. Signs went to blister that one down. Played by that defense. Ball back over. Ball high on a back set for Helmkamp. Tips it over. Got the point scored for McHi. Maddie Helmkamp. That other semifinal. It's a back and forth game between Los Fresnos and Pioneer. Here at the net, ball challenge there, still alive. Helmkamp tries to put it away. She does. Point scored, McHi, as Maddie Helmkamp on a back-to-back kill. Another serve by the Bulldogs. Raiders on the pass. Ball up at the net. Center set. Spiked over. Looking for the angle. Out of bounds it goes. Point McHi. 4-point lead for the Lady Bulldogs. Back of the service line. Andrea Tovar puts us in play. Rochelle Guerra on the pass. Kenya Ibarra off the back row. Tipped it over. Signs there to cover that. Back set for Helmkamp again. Guerra there to keep that alive again for the Raiders of Brownsville Rivera. Ball at the net, tipped over, and point scored, Rivera. A 12-9 game. Back to serve is Izagiri. Just off the net, won't cross. Point scored, McHi. Maddie Helmkamp back to serve for the Lady Bulldogs. Helmkamp puts it into play, just over, played by Guerra. Set up Ibarra, who's rotated back to the front. Also back, there's Signs again. Played off the Raider defense to the middle. Punched over by Guerra. Helmkamp keeps that alive. Gonzalez becomes the setter. On the right side, a kill attempt by Ramirez. Here's Ibarra. Nice dig back there. That's off the Raptors. Signs Ruckins is across. Here come the Raiders again. Ball back across the net and put away by Ada Sadlier. Sadlier suddenly got in the mix there on the middle. And another serve for the McHi Lady Bulldogs, who are now up 5. Guerra with a diving play to keep that alive. Ibarra tips it across. Signs is there to cover that. Helmkamp sets up Gonzalez on a back row attack. Got the point, scored. 6-point lead, McHi. Ready for the serve. Here it comes for Helmkamp. Point scored, Rivera. Had McHi scored a point there, you were probably looking at a timeout. My wife set a thing of chips in front of me. She set me up earlier with some lemon-flavored chips. I'm not about to pick one of those up in the middle of a broadcast. Tempting, although they may be. Serve for the Rivera Raiders. Played by the Bulldogs. Helmkamp with a jump set, and Sadlier couldn't put it away. Raiders now on the back row. Will get it over. Bulldogs back at you again. Left side, that's spiked over. Rotating up to the front, that's Ramirez. Alexa Ramirez over there. Points scored for McHi. They go back up by 6. 16-10 your score. Bulldogs serve it up. Raiders on the return to serve. A high set, back set. That's off the block. Punch right back at you, and a point for McHi. Blockers right there to prevent Ibarra's hit. Next serve across. Raiders there to play that. Back row, that's Guerra. Gonzalez now rotating on the front row, and they'll set her. She'll put it away. 18-10 on a kill by Lexi Gonzalez. Raiders jumped out to the lead. McHi now on top by 8. Timeout call. Back after this.
Come see what the City of San Benito has to offer today. Business owners, visit the San Benito Chamber of Commerce and find out how they can help you be a part of the new and exciting growth the city is experiencing today. Supporting business, community, and the teams, San Benito Chamber of Commerce.
At First Community Bank, we believe in small business.
When Dr. Armando Salazar decided to build new dental offices in Port Isabel, John Reed at First Community Bank had the perfect financing options.
Make FCB your bank.
Back here after a timeout was called. McHi Lady Bulldogs trying to punch their ticket into a championship game of a tournament for the 3rd week in a row to start this season. Played their pool play throughout the week and Pioneer. Served by the Bulldogs, back to action. Raiders of Brownsville Rivera get it over. Diving play made that time by the Bulldogs. As that time Sabrina Garza got a hand on it. Raiders set it up. This is Ibarra off the block. Another point, McHi, and this front row now really playing some play. Double block that time. Kenya Ibarra coming right at him. But using the power of that hit actually in their advantage. Back set this time. Ibarra tips it this time. What a diving play again by Garza. Set it up across the way. Kill attempt by Ramirez. Tipped over again as Ibarra is rotating all over that front row. Here's Gonzalez. Good play by the Lady Raiders of Brownsville Rivera. Set up Ibarra again, looking for the back corner. What a play by the libero. That's Audrey Zamora back there on a diving play. Ball back up high. Another play by Zamora. Here's Gonzalez trying to end this rally. Nothing doing just yet. Ball at the net, challenge there. Still alive, and a point scored, McHi. Raiders battled for the point, but McHi kept the ball alive and then just kept that pressure coming. And go up by 10. Short serve. Lady Raiders up at the net, punched over by Ibarra. Back row very active now for McHi as Zamora in play back there, patrolling as a libero. Big spike straight down, Ada Sadlier. 21-10. Sadlier able to put that one in the books. Back of the service line. Sabrina Garza. Moisture on the floor over on the Raiders side, meanwhile. They'll attend to that. Want to remind you fans, while we got a little break here in San Benito, Texas, we've got the South Texas Music Festival on Saturday, September 21st. Taking place at the Haven Memorial Park on Bowie Street from 4 o'clock until 11 o'clock throughout the day and evening hours in the city of San Benito. Ace served up there by the Lady Bulldogs, and they are just rolling here in game one, up by a dozen points. Garza gets that one over. Raiders with a better pass, set up Ibarra, tips it off the blockers, got the point. It's been a long, dry run that time for the Brownsville Rivera Lady Raiders before that point scored. Another serve for Rivera. Just across, played by the Lady Bulldogs with a high set for Lexi Gonzalez. In the point right there. Gonzalez able to score. Back to serve again is Sabrina Garza. Check that. Hands the ball off to Olivia Tite. Tite back to serve. Gets that over. Ball across, played on the back row by the Bulldogs on a back set right side. Spiked over, played by Guerra. Ball at the net, tipped over. Bulldogs score. Go up 24-11. Bulldogs now serving for the win here in game one. Jump serve across, knuckles over. Right up at the net on the pass. From the back row, played over. Bulldogs set it up. Gonzalez to end game one, and does. Bulldogs showing why they're the number one seed, winning this one 25-11. Brownsville Rivera on the tail end of this series now, down one. Game two comes up after this.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
Hi, we're Natalie Galaxies, and thank you for watching Real Sports Live.
Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito. Come see what the City of San Benito has to offer today. Business owners, visit the San Benito Chamber of Commerce and find out how they can help you be a part of the new and exciting growth the city is experiencing today. supporting business, community, and the team's San Benito Chamber of Commerce.
Thanks for watching Real Sports Live. Thanks for watching Real Sports Live.
Real Sports 5, number 1.
Hi, we're Brownsville veterans, and thanks for watching Real Sports Live.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for the prices? It's a Labor Day party.
It's the Hacienda Ford Labor Day sale where you can get a new Ford Expedition with 20-inch wheels, leather, navigation, and more for $12,000 off MSRP.
We got the tailgates down and we're feeling all right. My Hacienda friends are saving money tonight.
Hacienda has it.
Back here, we get ready for game 2 of this best-of-3 series. McHi Lady Bulldogs will serve it up. Helmkamp gets it over. Back set for their Lady Raiders, and that carries out of bounds. The semifinal decides who gets in the championship game. Meanwhile, on the other side of the court, off camera here, Sharyland Pioneer and Los Fresnos in their semifinal have extended into game 3 of their best-of-3. Lexi Gonzalez looking from the back row to put that away. Nothing doing as it sails out. In game 1, Brownsville Rivera had the lead early on, but that didn't last so long as this McHi team secured the win. Big spike that time by Sadlier, and that goes down for the point. Back to serve is Sabrina Garza. We got some moisture on the floor out there. While they attend to that, I want to remind you again, in the city of San Benito being one of our sponsors at the title level, their next big event in the city of San Benito is the South Texas Music Festival. Saturday, September 21st at the Haven Memorial Park, 705 North Bowie Street, San Benito, Texas. Circle the date. See you there. McHi Lady Bulldogs will be serving here. And a jump serve across. High set to Kenya Ibarra, played by the Bulldogs. Lexi Gonzalez takes it off the net. Punch in the air. Guerra gets it over. Ball still alive. Gonzalez again. Reaches up. Gets it to go down. 3-1 to score. Just the extra reach that time by Gonzalez. Able to score that point. Jump serve across. High set across the net. And Kenya Ibarra coming right back at you. 3-2 game. Ibarra that time with a little extra behind that. Just a short serve. That gets just over. That's an ace for Rivera. Back to serve for the Lady Raiders. Emily Morales. That goes out of bounds. Service there. Ada Sadlier back to serve now for McHi. Sadlier ready to go. Ibarra with the pass. Over it goes. That's out of bounds on the back row. 5-3 game. Those little things add up so fast against a team like McHi. Just a little too far on the carry. You got to dig super deep to stay competitive against this squad. There's a nice place ball by Ibarra. Point for the Rivera Raiders. 5-4 game. Rotating back to serve for Brownsville Rivera is Clarissa Olivares. Lady Bulldogs on the return to serve. Get it over by Homecamp. High set up the middle, tipped over. Played back by the Bulldogs, punched over. High set this time for Ibarra, reaches over, gets it. Here's Gonzalez, right back at you. That is out of bounds. Tie game at 5 apiece. Lexi Gonzalez just missing on that kill attempt. Bulldogs return the serve again, set up Gonzalez. That's too far. Point Rivera. 1 point lead Rivera. Now this is where in game one, McHi switched on that other switch, gained the advantage, and then never looked back. Points scored for Rivera. They're up 7-5. Against Brownsville veterans, we saw McAllen High win game one of that series easily, and then Brownsville veterans had them on the ropes in game two, nearly extended that into a third game for the Bulldogs. Were able to win that in two. 7-6 game, serve across. Played by the Raiders, set up Ibarra down the line this time, got the point. Rivera back on top by 2. 8-6 game as Kenya Ibarra rotates back to serve. Ibarra gets it over, played by the Bulldogs on a back set for Gonzalez. Guerra there on a diving play to keep it alive. This is Ibarra off the back row. Set it up high on a back set. Gonzalez there again, this time puts it away. 8-7 game, and Rochelle Guerra back there is just, you can see, wore out on that back row for Brownsville Rivera. Gonzalez to serve. Short serve, Ibarra on the pass. That's too strong, and Signs is there to put it away, and we're tied at 8 apiece. Selena Signs rotating forward. Lexi Gonzalez now back to serve for the Lady Bulldogs. Guerra there to return the serve. Spiked across, looking for the angle. That is in on a hit by Alondra Guzman, and Rivera back up 1. 9-8 your score. Rochelle Guerra back to serve again. Off the jump serve, a short serve played by the Bulldogs. Helmkamp punches it over. Raiders there to make the play. Bulldogs setting up Signs again. Down the line, nobody there, tie game. Signs right down that line from that outside left. Tie game at 9 apiece, and to serve now is Olivia Tite. Ball up high on a back set for Ibarra. That's up in the rafters. Bulldogs do keep it alive. Nothing doing. Point scored Rivera. So a major difference here in this one. Rivera and McHi trading points back and forth throughout this one. More moisture on the floor on the Rivera side. The winner of this will have to take on the winner of Brownsville, or check that, of Pioneer and Los Fresnos. Pioneer right now in control of that one. It's game 3 of their best of 3. 5-point lead for the Diamondbacks. 5 points away from a ticket to the championship dance. Back to action here. Tipped over by Signs. Raiders keep it alive. Bulldogs, another good chance. Quick set this time for Sadlier. Puts it down. Tie game at 10-10. Helmkamp back to serve. Ball back over. Punched over. Bulldogs on the return. Spike it across. And a point scored. McHi goes back up 1. Bulldogs to serve. Diving play by Ibarra keeps it alive. Back row, that's Guerra. Ball into the net. Point scored. Rivera ties it again. 11-11 ball game. More moisture on the floor, this time on the McHi side of things. JR's got a good one over there in the other semifinal. Pioneer. Their fans getting more and more vocal over there as they're getting closer to knocking off Los Fresnos. Both of those teams unbeaten throughout play. Somebody will lose for the first time in a semifinal game. McHi on a back set to Signs after the pause in the action. Right back at you on the Raiders side. They'll play it. Bulldogs, Lexi Gonzalez gets it over. Brownsville Rivera now set it up. This is Ibarra. Covered by Helmkamp. Gonzalez's hit is played by Ibarra. Another punch across. Diving play by the Bulldogs to keep that alive. Gonzalez from the back row attacks. High set for Ibarra. Right back down the line. Point scored. Kenya Ibarra. Rivera back on top by 1. Back to serve now for Rivera is Laisha Izagiri. Izagiri gets it over. Bulldogs with a high set, tipped over. Raiders punch it over. Bulldogs again coming at you. Gonzalez off the net, gets it over. Ball over. Raiders still with the ball in play. At the net this time, they'll call 2 hits. Point scored to McHi. We're tied at 12. Over in the other court, now the Los Fresnos Lady Falcons are up against it, to say the least. Pioneer on the verge of being in the championship game. Here's Kenya Ibarra off the block. Played back over on the Raiders side. Points scored. McHi now on top. The winner of this will be playing the Sharyland Diamondbacks, or Pioneer Diamondbacks, as we now know they're in the championship game after defeating Los Fresnos. High set in the middle, punched over. Bulldogs Setting up a back row kill attempt. In the net it goes, all tied at 13. 13-13 game. Back to serve for the Raiders is Darlene Longoria. Longoria ready to go. First, they've got more moisture on the floor. That's suddenly coming into play about every other serve here in this game. Jump serve across by the Raiders, just across the net, kicked over. Out of bounds it goes, point Rivera. Raiders up 1. Serve across. Played by the Bulldogs. Set for Gonzalez. Tie game. Lexi Gonzalez again. Ties it up. Now they'll dismantle the net over on this court next to us. Same thing will happen after our game, and they'll stretch this across. Take advantage of the full gym for the championship game. That serve lands in for the Lady Bulldogs. They go up 1 at 15-14. This is truly going back and forth with this lead between these two teams. Bulldogs won the first game easily. Up by 1 here. Raiders can't return the serve. That's an ace. 2-point lead for the Bulldogs. Back to serve is Zamora. Jump serve across. That carries out of bounds. Point Rivera. 1-point game at 16-15. Lady Raiders now looking to tie the game. That's out of bounds. Each team back-to-back with service errors. That's the first 2 service errors of this contest here in this game 2. Back to serve for McHi is Maddie Garza. Guerra on the pass, hit that. Point scored for McHi. 3-point lead for the Bulldogs. Garza to serve again. Right down the line, played by the Raiders of Brownsville Rivera, set up Ibarra. Got it past the blockers, diving play for a moment, kept it alive, point scored by Rivera. Diving play back there by Garza, trying to keep her hands on that ball. Also back there was Sabrina Garza for McHi. Raiders to serve, Kenya Ibarra back at the line. Just gets it over. At the net, that's Gonzalez, another point. Lexi Gonzalez on the kill. 3-point lead. Gonzalez rotates back to serve. Short serve. Oh, what a play by Guerra to keep that in play. Spike attempt, and Gonzalez right back at you with a play on the back row on the other side. Back set this time. Ibarra looking for the back corner. That's just out of bounds. McHi up 4. Serve across by Gonzalez. High set, spiked down, played by the Bulldogs. High back set, that's off the block, out of bounds it goes. Point scored McHi. Timeout called by the Raiders. Brownsville Rivera played close in this one. Now trail by 5. Back after this.
Start the new year off right. Alpha Men's Primary Care wants to remind all men it's time for your annual physical. Call to schedule an appointment. It's about the body, mind, and emotion. Stop feeling sluggish, having no energy, or being stressed. Alpha Men's Healthcare believes in a holistic approach to your overall health. Even if you have low testosterone, diabetes, high blood pressure, or gained weight, let Alpha Men's Primary Care help you increase your energy, stamina, endurance, and quality of life. Start feeling young again. Alpha Men's Primary Care is changing the way men's healthcare is done.
Some of those shots there were taken at Hacienda Ford. Hacienda Ford, one of our title sponsors now here on Rio Sports Live. You'll see more and more activity revolving around Hacienda Ford. Got some real big news to announce out of there as well. If we can just get one more little deal finished up. I don't think that'll be hidden secret much longer. Serve over as an ace for the Bulldogs. They're now up 22-16. And Lexi Gonzalez ready to serve again. It's off the ceiling and a point scored. Gonzalez back to serve. Just across. On the back row attempt, the Raiders hit it out of bounds, point McHi. Now McAllen, one away from being in the championship against the Diamondbacks of Pioneer. They'll serve. For that, one last timeout.
Hola, les habla su amigo Benjamín Gómez, el alcalde de San Benito, invitando a toda la gente que venga a visitarnos aquí a San Benito. Crucen por el puente Los Indios, más bien conocido como el puente de Lucio Blanco. Visítenos a las atracciones que tenemos aquí en San Benito. Aquí los esperamos. Muchas gracias. Su amigo Benjamín Gómez.
Hi, we're McHi Bulldogs. Thanks for watching Real Sports Live.
Every great dining adventure begins with one word, fresh. At the Sea Ranch, we combine a fresh, inviting atmosphere with chef-inspired cuisine prepared from the freshest local shrimp, oysters, snapper, and mahi-mahi. Our salmon, Alaskan king crab, and live Maine lobsters are flown in fresh. A local favorite for over 30 years, the Sea Ranch. Come enjoy a fresh experience.
Championship game is now set as McHi Lady Bulldogs capture a victory here over the Brownsville Rivera Lady Raiders. Final score was 25-16. They won the first game 25-12. And now that sets it up with two teams that have been unbeaten through pool play and are now on a collision course to decide this one. McHi and Pioneer. Hope you enjoyed this semifinal game. Reminding you, highlights of these games will be up a little bit later on, and replays of the games are always available when given the opportunity to put them back on. Till next time, from Sharyland High School, stay tuned for our championship. So long for a while.